Lavished in beauty and tradition, the southwestern desert is captivated in vibrant colors and natural features that are pleasing as well as relaxing. Landscape Southwest Television will introduce a different feature outdoor enthusiasts will want to add to their own backyard resort. From colorful succulent low-water plants to outdoor adobe fireplaces, we will showcase everything you need to turn your property into an oasis of outdoor living. Hello, and welcome to Landscaping Southwest Television. Each episode of our program will introduce a unique landscaping idea you can add to your own property to give it a touch of the Southwest. New Mexico is unique with its arid to semi-arid environment, abundant sunshine, and limited rainfall. Therefore, our natural surroundings have been implemented into some of the most fascinating design ideas in and around the state. We will feature outdoor paving and flooring, outdoor kitchen and barbecue stations, water features, fireplaces and fire pits, and more, all with the southwestern flair. So whether you plan to entertain guests or enjoy your new desert haven alone, your property's new look will be endlessly treasured.
Hi, my name is Larry Shore. I'm a hydrogeologist. I live here in Albuquerque. I work for the Groundwater Bureau in the state of New Mexico. And one of my long-term goals of my life has been to learn how to live in balance in the high desert of New Mexico. One way of kind of promoting that ethic in my mind was to try and create a landscape here at my house that basically is a landscape in balance with the climate and a design that provides enough vegetation that you can support here and be sustainable over a long period of time and aesthetically pleasing at the same time.
Fundamentally, xeriscaping evolved from a need to conserve water. In various parts of the country, started to look at ways that were delivering water and the amount of water that plants need.
There are 7 principles to xeriscaping your yard, not only to conserve our natural resources, but to still have a beautiful and attractive landscape.
Basically, it's selecting plants that can thrive and sustain themselves in their environment and require a low amount of water. Plants like cactus are succulents. They know how to store water. They have leaf systems that restrict transpiration of water out of their leaf systems, and they're able to go for long periods of time when it's dry and take water in quickly when it rains. And so xeriscaping is a kind of landscaping that involves selecting those kinds of plants.
Design and planning. A good design incorporates zoning areas that are assigned to different plants with different watering needs. A good plan also includes water harvesting.
Designing a xeriscape plan is very similar to designing any kind of landscape plan for your residence. And it's beginning with understanding the land that you're going to be planting.
Irrigation. Irrigation uses certain watering systems that feed water directly to the plant roots without evaporation.
The idea is that you can still live in this kind of environment and minimize your overall consumption of water if you learn how to irrigate just those plants and supply just the amount of water that they need.
Mulch. Mulch provides cover over the soil, reducing evaporation, soil temperature, and erosion.
The other thing to think about is materials. There are a lot of options for ground cover materials. We see a lot of rock use, but there are also ways to vary that. Rock can be very hot, and overall it can affect the climate of a yard a great deal and make it rather unpleasant. Varying these materials makes a big difference in the visual outcome of a xeric design.
In a large part of the landscape, I use rock mulch, which is a xeriscaping technique. We're going to have a ground cover that uses this Turkish speedwell that's over there by the water stack, uses just a small amount of water once it gets established.
Soil preparation. An integral element to any landscape design is the proper soil preparation. This improves water holding and root growth.
You can start to look at what are the conditions. What kind of soil do you have? You generally have sand, and clay, and then more sand. So when you begin, you want to know that's going to be a constraint. And I think that there's room for lots of color. We've got beds back here of plant material that are, they get watered once a week, and the soil's been prepared properly, so it holds a lot of water. And this plant material adds a lot of texture and a lot of color and seasonal interest in select areas, which really seems to, give a lot more interest to the landscapes.
We're trying to integrate that into our lifestyle, and we think that as a city, as a state, living in this kind of a climate, that we need to adopt these kinds of principles and bring them into everyday life. And so this house and this landscape is an opportunity, a model for how to do that.
If you're working with the City of Albuquerque's water-wise program, there's probably a certain target gallons per day that you want to be using, or gallons per week that you want to be using. So if you can work with that water usage, then you can identify the plant material. How much plant material can you put in? This tree is going to take 25 gallons a week. So maybe I'm only going to use 3 of those. So it's the water demand that goes into a xeriscape design. I think it's going to be increasingly important that we utilize less water in our yards, because that is by far the highest consumption for each individual household. And we are in a drought, and it's not going to change.